Yo, peeps, we are back. We have a special guest never ever before seen in my live streams or discussion board. And haven't seen this guy since we used to work together. His name is also known Robert.
Hey, what's
Drumroll.
up?
So tell him a little bit about yourself at the intro right now. Explain
Uh,
yourself.
you
Don't go.
probably remember me.
Just don't go
Oh,
too personal. Not too
okay.
personal, but just about yourself.
All right. Well, I'm basically just a technician that's worked at college. Basically, right now, I've worked at a district school that he knows about, um, stuff like that. And I basically work into networking fields. I have my own company also for as a computer tech for services. I also have my YouTube channel also. So pretty much.
This guy is so amazing. We compete against each other so much in the past
Oh,
history, right, buddy?
yeah,
But it brings back brings back old memories, doesn't it?
it really does. I'm like, it was a lot of stuff. I used to remember that. And that was like I was in high school whenever stuff like that was.
You pushed me to my limits. You pushed me
And I'm
so
like, what did
hard.
I do?
It's so funny because this guy right here, he taught me servers could go way beyond average. He always found my loopholes and told me about
Oh,
them, and I had to patch them up, right?
sadly, like I wouldn't doubt that half of the stuff is still sitting there running off my script. So we created.
It still is. I'm not joking with you.
I
It's still running.
I
It's
believe
still
it. There's so
running.
many scripts because they're for that server, and I'm like, I really still have these scripts. I know that if I probably delete that, that would probably be gone.
But here's the thing: is at the school nobody run. It's only running at the high school only, and the
Ah,
middle school because nobody's using in the elementary. They're using Chrome boxes.
I know. I'm
That
like, so why is half of your network running a little slow? Well, everybody's using a Chromebook that needs to have like little internet for it, and that kind of kills it.
so, but they have no problems at this moment. The problem that they always have is at the high school or the middle school. The elementary is runs on its own. Nobody ever has a problem. No one, nothing. The high school and the middle school are the ones that have the most problems right now because
What
they're
type of
using.
issues are they currently having over there right now?
I don't know. I haven't even asked. Like I haven't even thought about asking because I just found
I,
out that they
I
did.
yeah, I haven't really talked to them like that myself. I know that I remember the new elementary, so I know how that runs. So they're pretty much should be good. But I know the junior high got switched over to the new location, and that means they're probably having some pain also for the new configurations and everything. Because remember, they used to have their oral building. You know that. Where was
Yeah.
that? And now it's been relocated. I bet you that was a big pain in the butt in transition.
Well, they had to transition it. That was part of our game plan when we transitioned. That they transitioned. Well, when I was still there at the school, we had to retransition all that because that was under demolition.
Yeah,
And I questioned about that, like how are they going to bring the fibers? How are they going to do this? They didn't know, so but they did bring up the project right when I left. I finished the project, the main project, and everything. But there was only one project that we had to work on, which was just the fiber. And
yeah,
I haven't even seen my final project. You know that I set this whole
yeah,
project. We set up the screens. We set up everything. The touchscreen boards. You know, with built-in operating
yeah.
systems.
All those things.
All that stuff. I was there when we implemented it.
Yeah,
And
it was.
but
I saw how all that stuff was, and it just it got shocked. I used to remember like I remember when they had the new elementary when they rebuilt that one,
I wasn't
and
in,
like
I wasn't in that project. Just the virtualization. But I didn't have no say in that part. It was the other guy.
yeah. Well, I used to remember when they nice hit like 3 out of the 4 fiber lines from the when they're cutting the trees. I'm like, guys.
Dude, all that stuff, all that school has been epic, man. What's up, Kid Balos? Okay, so let's see. Any guys here have any questions about technology? Because we have two gurus here sitting in front of you. I have about 12 years experience. This guy has a little bit as close as me. Right, buddy?
Yep.
We're the top gurus here because he pushed me to the farthest limits of my knowledge in servers, virtualization, and everything. He's the one that taught me how to protect myself from proxies and everything from inside the school district.
Oh,
This guy could explain. This guy could go ins and outs from every detail aspect you have. So you have any questions, guys? I'm specialized in a certain field. He specializes in certain areas, but we both work together now. Compared to what? Compared to everything. How do you go live on YouTube on my laptop? I'll explain that to you later, kid ballers.
yeah. I used to remember how we first started. I really consider that you actually were a big. I consider that you were actually were a very big push to me because you wanted stuff to be done, and I can't let something fail. So you remember that because we would work on the projects and would just like go through and search and search and search, especially when like we were building like the Active Directory system. That was one of the things.
Hey, but be honest. Be honest. Have you? Did you learn anything from me when you working with me?
Oh yeah, I did. One of the things I literally didn't even know how Active Directory was. The ghost imaging, I learned that from you for the semantic ghost. That we still use. That's something that we really need to get a new system, but it still works.
There's a new system that I've been trying to learn, and I still don't know. It's the
Which one?
Windows. It's the Windows one. You load all the
Ah,
OSs on it, and then you pull. You have this computers pull the image from there and reloads it by
I've
operating
done it
system.
myself. It's a good image that you can do, but it doesn't. I guess we're gonna. If you don't really care and you just want the computer to be at least a decent image of something light, it could be fine. When you want to create an image with all the software and base stuff like that, it doesn't always work like that on Microsoft.
Yeah, whenever I did, I had two. Every single I had an image for every single of my clients privately. I had an
Yeah,
image for every single one of them,
that's something
and
I do before.
I put them on DVD, but I don't put them on DVD anymore because it gotten too big.
Yeah,
They got like almost Blu-ray now, because of all the updates.
yeah. Well, that's how Windows XP. How many updates are there? About 15 gigs worth of stuff.
Give me a Blu-ray and then we'll talk.
That could work.
Yeah, but it was crazy, man. Like me, you've been a very aspect for me even till today. Not compared to not bring up his name, never bring up his name in here, but yeah, he kind of tried to push him to his limits, but he would never let me push him. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
He would
about.
never
He's
let
kind of
me.
in a situation.
I tried help. I always said he also said, just to say this on here, he also tried to contradict between me and this guy here next to me. He always started talking trash to him, saying I was always saying stuff, and I confronted. You asked me, told him, bro,
Oh,
I have nothing to say bad about anybody, and I've always respected this guy here. No matter what he did to me, all that stuff, the other guys always try to bash him, say I was talking real bad about it. I've never said one bad thing about him. I was like, that's the only thing I've ever said. He's pushed me, and he's a good guy. What else can I say? Yeah,
yeah.
we both looked up to each other in certain ways, because
It
like
comes in there.
because this guy over here had, like I said, his strengths in certain areas. My strengths are over here. IT people have to work together
Yeah,
because
it really has to.
you have to, exactly, because there's a guy that's certain height and this guy's here, and we both bounce off of each other. So that's our main goal right here.
Yeah, and I'm trying to look up for. You already know that there's Active Directory. What is the one? I know what it's called. I just can't think what it's from. It's a Microsoft. They use it like at A&M and stuff like that. What is it? Basically, like pretending you have to do a software update and it shoots them out to computers that are in Active Directory. What is it called?
Peace out, MG.
Can't remember. Basically, it's a Microsoft one. You probably know.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
Basically, you sync them on together with the Active Directory, and then basically from the Active Directory, you can shoot out and update the PCs from there.
Oh, you're talking about software based.
Yeah, it's a software base. It's
It's
a
for
Microsoft one.
Yeah, but
It's like
it's pulling software and installing software automatically.
it basically updates them. Yeah, basically off from the server.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I
I
forgot
can't
the.
think the name.
I know it's APK or something like that. The APK files or something like that.
Well, that's a different type. The APK would be that would be like the scripts to do the updates and the special layouts, like for the browsers and stuff like that. That I know.
I forgot what they were called, but I know what you're talking about. I know the area. I
Uh,
just don't have the server on me. If I had a server, I could actually pull it up and actually
yeah.
start demoing here. Maybe next time, next time, bro, I'll have a server set up, and we could actually pull a server, and I'll let you remote in, and you could actually show these guys.
Oh, I know. It's a Microsoft Software Center. It's not the software
Yes,
of it, but it's actually the server itself has a special name, and you know what I'm talking about.
yes,
It's basically
we use that in my other
it's,
job.
yeah, it's basically it's a software center or system center
The S
2012 is what it's called.
SCC,
There we go.
the
Yes.
SCC,
And from there, you can basically do the configurations and applications from the catalog and the software center to shoot out to all of those computers.
the
That is
SCC,
a good system.
the SSCM,
Yeah,
because the last part, the M is just for management.
the MS. Yep, that's the system.
Yeah.
That's a project that we're trying to eventually go into. We're working on another issue that I'm working at, and they're trying to push the feature like the Active Directory we pushed out. Remember, it was a big old pain to find once we got everything straightened out.
Yeah. And we've
Well,
got
I literally put the exact same layout. They had like when I went to their Active Directory, we had a person that was way up there in the networking, and she was a networking specialist. And you know who it is, a networking that was the head of the IT.
mhm.
So regardless, she had it those most plain Jane Active Directory ever that wouldn't do anything. The whole point was to join the domain and to shoot out all those policies, group policies, to what locations and what classrooms and stuff like that. And then I finally started working on it. I finally got opportunity to start working on the server, letting them know. And we pushed it out. The only thing we're behind now because we have like like we use like Veronix for deep freeze. You remember that?
Yeah.
We use a software called Centurion.
I remember that one.
Centurion's a decent. I still like deep freeze a hell lot better.
Which Robert has a secret behind defreeze on freezing it without anything.
Yeah.
Right, Robert?
That what?
You have a hidden way to unfreeze it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Veronix is probably watching us, Robert.
Someone's knocking.
Robert, they're for you.
Nah, I know how that was. The Veronix, well,
Hey.
they've actually patched up very good today now. Actually,
But
all the
you-
way up until Windows 10,
but-
the latest firmware, and I've been very shocked.
But you know what? That is a good method, man. Because in case if you lose the area or the console, you have a way to bypass it.
Yeah, it's a good
Because
system route because I'm like, we've had issues before, and well, like Centurion. I'm sorry, Centurion's a good software. Yes, it can lock it, but it takes a very big, massive amount of storage space,
yeah,
and causes lots of crashes, and also the boot up startup. Also, while Centurion, it runs as a service, so even if you're not logged in or not, that system is automatically cloned, like it's locked in, so it won't matter. That I know, and you know the other routes.
and in me, when we had to do the end computing, I don't know if you remember, we had to do some shortcuts, bypasses.
Yeah,
The virtual
that
we had
was a big.
that was a big hell of a storm that we had caused. It was just freaking
Yeah.
devastation. All that virtualized equipment that we had, it
We
was
were
just
like
an
the
epic
only
fail.
one around the whole like South Texas of having them. Like, you're like the first ones there.
Man, we are the first ones, but man, it was just a devastation through end computing. But we weren't the first school to do virtualization. It was the
No.
Valley. The
Yeah,
Valley
the Valley
had,
had it also.
yeah,
It was kind of bad because they kind of installed the whole system. Well, they didn't even install them. They kind of just put in the monitor, keyboard, and mouse, and they tried to configure the system. And remember, we just like worked our butt off trying and trying and trying to get the communication with that big, humongous, basically hard drive rack, basically server rack for them.
yeah.
That was huge. I remember how heavy that thing was to install it there on the rack.
Yeah, it sucked. All that stuff, all that troubleshooting sucked, man. So just bring up stuff how we all started here because this is our first introduction here of Robert here. We're gonna let you talk about how Robert got into technology here. because everybody would like to know, probably like to know how we all started. I'll explain my story as well. Let our guest go first, and then I'll explain my story after that. Go ahead, Robert. Shoot your film.
Okay, well for me, I would say it mostly started like when I was in like junior high, believe it or not. I used to be more as like a science and a math person field, but eventually I kind of went into technology. And it was like in junior high, out of the coincidence, we got laptops that were Dell Latitude 1150s, and you know those models, ones that we like e-wasted death.
Dude, when I
You
left,
know
we
that.
still had some. We still had some when I left in
Well,
2013,
I
2015.
still see them. Yeah, the 1150s. I used to remember the bricks, and I'm like, at that time, that was actually brilliant because for having 512 or 1 gig of RAM on a simple XP computer, I used to remember that. And eventually, that basically kind of pushed me into there. And then that was basically like 6th grade stuff, like when we got it. I started just learning more about it. And then eventually, I started learning how to get the bypass because in 6th grade it wasn't bad. The other guy, the tech guy that was there, he left for a better job somewhere else.
I know who you're talking
And then,
about.
and then you know the other one
Yeah,
that you worked with, I think for a little bit. I
yeah.
used to remember.
I worked with him for like I think a year, year and a half or two.
Yeah,
Oh no,
I
not
haven't seen him
even.
since a long time.
One I worked with only like only 6, 7, 8 months. The other
It,
one I
well, I
worked
remember.
with 4 years.
Yeah. Well, you know which one with the J. The one
Yeah,
that one I remember. I remember when you just started in that situation, and here I am having that humongous software that they. How much money did you all spend to get that lockdown to lock down the computers, like as much restricted as you could?
which one?
I don't know. There was a software basically. Okay, in 6th grade I was right there. Maybe in 7th or 8th grade, we would have something that would lock down the computers. Not lock them. Well, yes, we had them locked down. But basically, you would be restricted that you couldn't do anything. This kind of like instead of using the Active Directory policy, but it was a separate software that we were using. I can't think what it
Um,
was called. Maybe you don't know. Maybe it was before
it
him.
was before me. I got there when the last year before they, or the year and a half before they expired.
Okay. Well, that software was one that they had to lock down everything, no installation stuff, and I bypassed it. It was basically when they paid big companies to prevent to lock down the computers, and broke through it and was able to install software. Because the
This
loop trick was kind of like using a flash drive loop. Flash drives.
this guy right here has the knowledge to bypass software if things need to
Yeah.
be and things, but it's not in a bad way. It's just in case
No.
of an emergency, right, Robert?
Yeah.
It's in case of an emergency or something like that because he likes to play with it. He likes to do what I do. Get the software and try to break it.
It's like simple as this. You'll see a person that comes and installs the software. I'm the debugger.
Think about that. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to have somebody that guy in the environment so for testing purposes.
Yeah.
Break it
So
because I do the
that
same thing.
was that. I remember that. So eventually, like I actually in junior high, yeah, I was in somewhat. It was mostly quiet there in junior high. And I remember John. He came and wiped my hard drive because he found. You remember that? It was one time. I mean, it was in high school. Regardless, he wiped my computer, and I'm like, "It's okay. I got a backup." I
Damn,
just remember those eras.
dude. I
I was
remember
always
my time when I actually installed games on a computer and it went viral.
that was the cool trick. Oh, that was the funny part. We had that Centurion lockdown that whatever software we used to lock the heck out of it, you
Uh
couldn't
huh.
play like any of the games. And some of the games was like the regular Windows, like because at that time it was XP, so having like pinball was like amazing. I used to remember that. And like solitaire and spider solitaire, and then you could glitch them and tweak them and randomly win the game. Wow. But they put that policy to restrict it. But here I am, come to my house, I get to copy the shortcuts for them. Eventually, I figured out where the shortcuts were, and I found them like in System 32, but
Hmm.
they were not installed. So basically, the service for game was restricted. They turned it off. Well, if you just copied all the games from System 32 and paste them on the computer, well, it was able to run on those laptops.
Hey, what happened to the Windows pinball? How come they removed it?
I can get you that if you need to, but make it work on Windows 7. Windows 10, I can get on there for you too. I have a video on that I made for that. How to get it back.
I have
Live.
somebody.
I actually one of my live ones that I did, just not open. Like a picture of me, but I did it live. A live video.
My friend here stated, "You know what y'all should do? Play Black Ops with split screen."
Dangerous stuff, man.
I
I
know
don't
it
know.
is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you could handle that, bro. The guy.
No. So like I have like Black Ops, Black Ops 1, 2, 3, like Infinite Warfare, World War 2. I don't know. What do I have?
I don't even know what I have either, man. I was like, I have it over there, but we have different operating systems. We have different game systems. My computer,
Yeah.
my freaking computer, this i7 I have right here. I don't know. Hold on, let me see.
What's mine
machine?
current?
We're both looking.
I'm gonna look what mine is right now. Mine's a desktop here.
I have an i3.
Mine is well, because what it was, we had a school one that we had, and we are gonna e-waste it, and there was like nothing bad. Like yes, it was a bad board, and the processor was bad. Some stuff parts like that. So I basically
Yeah.
like e-waste it, and I asked them, "Is it alright if I can take this after we take this and take it to the center?" We basically go to, because you know that Goodwill has a nice recycling center
Yeah.
that goes into Dell, and it doesn't have to be that; it could be any brand into that helping. So I took it over there. I told them I'll be back to get it, and I got it from there. And after that, I have i7 3770
From the
with
punt.
16 gigs of RAM.
Are you talking about from Goodwill?
What?
This was from Goodwill.
Well, because at the college we basically e-wasted the computers that were not going to be used anymore, ending this series, a warranty and everything. Because you understand, there's no more warranty. The cost of repairing was going to cost more. So eventually, I got it from there, and yeah, it didn't work. The board was bad. But it wasn't me who did it. It was someone else. I gave it to, because I had to go to like Beeville and have to go to the cycle, and they take it and wherever. Well, regardless, they got rid of it, and they left the processor in it. So an i7 processor.
It's not bad.
So I just bought the board. The board itself, you can buy them from eBay for probably about $26. So now I have an i7 core processor with a board.
That's freaking
That's
sick.
what I have for right now. And the graphics, what's my current graphics card? Let's see.
My freaking graphics sucks on this computer.
Yeah, well, my graphics sucked what I had too. I literally had to buy a graphics card because the onboard was purely bad. I have right now an NVIDIA GeForce GT 1030.
Let me see what mine is. Mine sucks. I'm telling you, it's Intel HD graphics.
Now, what's really crazy to me is I'm getting shocked by seeing the new AMD Ryzen. Oh my gosh! For not being, if you don't really care against price, I understand. You can get something that can almost meet the same standard the same way. Now, to understand if you're going by server base and stuff like that, no, get Intel. But for try and save money and still get something good, not a bad idea. The Ryzen 2s are coming out also. I think they already are. They're going to, if I'm correct. So, yeah, I've been looking. I kind of just search all the new processors that come out all the time. And I'm like, ooh, new computers are built.
Damn. Well, my story when I began was back when I started high school. I was 17 years old. You started younger than me.
Yeah.
I started when
mine was bad. I was in junior high and stuff like that, and I remember this. I'm gonna tell you this story, okay? When I was younger, I was randomly just trying to figure out stuff, and you only can mess up something whatever you messed up, you would better hope that you know how to fix it, basically. And one was on Windows XP at that time. No one knew how to contact the password reset. Remember that era?
Yeah.
I was maybe in like 6th or 7th grade, maybe. So that means how was I? Maybe 12, 14, somewhere around that. I don't know.
You're freezing up, buddy.
Well, my dad, eventually I somehow changed the password on the computer. Okay, I think we're back up.
Yeah, you're back up.
Okay.
You're
I'm
alive.
like waiting, so I'm seeing the little sign. This is what happens when you don't have straight direct cable. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so we paid I basically got the password changed, and I don't remember what I put. So my dad contacted Microsoft that cost like a couple $100 for them to tell him how to do the steps. And that was fine. And he got mad and he got pissed and everything like that. Well, a few months later, I tried that again. I said, if there's a way that you can contact Microsoft that tells you how to bypass that system, then there should be a way. And there you figured it out. It's very simple. It really is like the most simplest answer. Go to safe mode. Do it exist? Administrator!
Man, those were freaking days, man.
And now today that doesn't work anymore because Active Directory is disabled since like what was it? Vista? It was disabled. No, since Vista. It was Vista.
Yeah, they disabled it, so you had to re-enable it for security purposes because the reason they disabled it was because for the bugs.
Yeah, well, it's basically how everyone was using that system out of it. You can still now. It's very simple. I really laugh at that because you can still use to bypass a Windows system. All you have to do is you just like need a Windows CD, and not for reinstallation or anything like that. All you have to do is get into the command level, command prompt, and then you use like those those scripts. I'm not gonna say what they are for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can use the same way using like a Linux operating system CD to get that same way through. And I'm like, well, how secure is Windows?
Just freaking crazy.
Yeah. I was like, I used to remember that. And in high school, I kind of just like popped out of everyone. Like, yeah, I'm a guy that knows lots of technology, and you know that.
Rusty! No, we're not twins. Hello, everyone. Yeah, like I was saying back, it's 2017, 2007, 2005 when I started it, and then just got into a technology position, which I didn't even apply for technology position at the school. I don't know if you know that, Robert.
What did you put your position for?
I applied for substitute,
Wow.
and then I told my mom like, just watch, I'm gonna get hired for tech. She's like, shut the hell up, you're not gonna get it, you're not gonna
What
get it.
happened?
And then they needed a part-time tech. And then I got
Someone to
hired.
help out?
Like you, think about it. Like you were part-time tech with us, but you're better. You're making way more money where you're working at now than when you would be working at the school. Well,
True.
now, no, bro. Now they changed us. Now they changed the salaries.
What is it now? Do they get paid higher now?
They get paid higher. They get paid almost. Eric gets paid what I'm getting paid. Dude, it forced me. It forced making me leave
Go
the
back?
school just so they could get paid more.
I had that feeling. I'm like, my luck. After they let him go, like, oh, we found you. Well, no, I know the tech guys. Well, there's him.
You know,
him.
you have to know the main one now.
Who's the main one now? The networking one specialist?
Yes.
Yes, I know him.
And then
I
you
don't know
know,
if he knows me. I know him.
and then you have the other one. You have the other one, which is the other one? Well, you know the main one I always worked with, the one we worked together.
Yeah, I know. I know him. I used to remember like the freaking or my 3 monitors when I worked there.
Yeah. If you want to message me on Discord, you can always message me names.
All right, cool.
So
Well,
you
here,
can, so you
let me
keep.
get some real quick. I'm just gonna go to a page real quick. I need to know what page we're going to. I can figure out their names. Who's currently.
Yeah. Let me.
Let's see. Oh, there we go. Technology.
I just send you your
Yeah.
names.
Yeah, that's them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to remember those.
Which I don't know. The last one. The last one. I don't know if you remember. You don't know him because he's from Alice.
The Reese. That one.
Yeah. Well, they're both named Reese.
Oh, psh, well, pussy. Huh?
That was coincidence, bro.
They're both like that. Oh, the one with the
They're-
R.
Yeah, they're just. Yeah, they both don't have the last name except for the first name. The one that has an R, that's the one. He's the one from Alice. You probably won't know him. If you do,
Has he ever worked? Where has he ever worked in Alice somewhere as a tech?
no. He just
No.
graduated from high school.
Reese.
He's been out of school for like 2 years.
I would have to know. I know who it might be.
It's the superintendent's cousin.
I think I know who you're talking about.
If you do know him, it's kind of a floater. Like you probably like, hey, I know who he is. I've heard about him or this and that because of Alice, but it's not like something you know him. You probably run
Well, this
into
is
him.
like it'll come out of the blue. Yeah, and there's him, one that I remember back then, and the wonderful
Oh,
director. Is she still there?
oh yeah, she's still there. She
What
exists.
hasn't she been saying this since forever that she's gonna retire?
What happened to my video? It's paused.
Pause. Am I moving?
No, I'm paused too.
No.
Oh wait. I know why. Wait, wait. There you go. I forgot why. I forgot why. I was like, where am I frozen? I'm frozen. Dude, I sang the song Frozen. I don't know if you heard me.
Yep.
Let
She
it go.
won.
That was freaking epic. You think she won?
Yes. He was like, I keep messing up. Oh.
Yeah, I think I only did good in one song. That's it. If I did. I
Yeah.
don't give myself credit with one song. I've had my back. So lipstick, if you're in here, you won. We have a say so right here. So you can't bash him. Yeah, everybody's probably afraid of her.
Yeah. That was a big situation. I saw that. Against each other. It was like battle over battle against each other.
Yeah.
So, what about you? I know you said that you started when you were in high school or
I
after.
was, as soon as I started in high school, and then when I graduated in 2006, I went up 6 months later. I went straight to work for trying to apply for substitute, which I never got called for. Thank God I didn't. And then I got hired as for tech, and from there I started working as a basic tech. The way you were working, part-time tech, while you were in
Yeah.
high school, we took you under. We took you under, and that's where we had all that issues and stuff like that. And you helped us resolve and found bypasses and all
Yeah.
that, fixed a lot of the network. And like you said, everything is still there, and it's everything is automated now.
Nice.
They don't leave the office anymore.
So we
That's
basically just like need support. One moment.
pretty
Well, because
much.
we had VNC also everywhere, and
We fixed everything to the level. Well, I fixed everything to the level that they didn't have to leave the desk.
that's
and
good.
and they still have issues, but the other campuses they're working the migration to that method as well,
That's good.
and hopefully they
I
could
know
get
when
that.
we were. Well, I used to remember when we were there, everything was like so low, and we didn't had enough bandwidth and issues, and servers were behind, and it was just pain,
Yeah,
literally.
now everything's running to the way it should be, and
Well,
I don't know
well,
anything
I used
anymore.
to remember the old junior high. Like I used to remember the networking systems, and like what brand were they? Were they like an off-brand
uh
networking switches and stuff like that?
I think before I even got into the school they had just implemented it, all the networking,
Yeah,
because when I
I
got there they just started implementing new equipment. When you were in junior high, in the middle school,
yeah,
they had just implemented the high school. They just did the junior high. They just did
that I
all that.
remember.
Yeah, I think that was like in 2003 or 2002 when they updated the whole network infrastructure to fiber. All that crazy stuff that
Yeah,
just got implemented.
yeah, it was the big. I used to remember that era. Everything.
Dude, you're not gonna believe the government job I had. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Let's find out.
Well, let me message you.
Which place? Yeah.
I worked there for a while, and there they were freaking running T1 lines. T1 lines, bro.
Wow.
Just to open up applications and all that, it was hell. Like, I'm not joking. I don't know how anybody could have used T1 lines. You had to wait there forever to do all that stuff. Dude, I'm glad that all the implementation when I worked for this first place, that we migrated servers and everything, implemented all that, upgraded till now, and everything that I learned was from that base school. So whenever I do interviews, Robert, they actually they tell me you speak so highly of my first job. I was like, because that's where I learned everything.
Yeah.
as that is my base. If you go to my second job, it's not nothing. It's the same thing as my first job. So why am I going to talk good about my second job? Because my second job is just the same thing as my first job, and I just learned something new. And now I work for, well, I've already said it to everybody. I work at Apple, and now Apple is, yo, it can mail. So now I work at Apple, and now that's my whole new territory right there. All freaking learning, all
Yeah.
new technology, all that stuff. And maybe one of these days I'll be working for a bigger corporation or something, which I'm working for a
You get to
corporation.
be transferred there to California at the
Maybe,
headquarters.
maybe I'll be working there. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
that'll be cool.
have you heard any new technology that's coming out at this point in time that you know of?
Not that I know that the new iOS 12 is coming out on development for new bugs. Everyone's trying to steal fight against like Samsung and iPhone against the nice phone layouts.
But they're gonna merge. They're eventually gonna merge.
Yeah,
They're heading that way.
we're gonna
They're
come to a conclusion.
because they
I
both
know
have the same
that
everything.
AT&T and Time Warner, that project's been working like for the last few years of trying to merge together. They're still in process. Still, I know that they're bringing that up.
Dude,
Imagine that team, because you already know how much Time Warner changed into Spectrum. And imagine if you put Spectrum with AT&T, forget it. It's a monopoly. That
yeah.
basically like tosses like all the ones out.
Yeah, man. It's freaking crazy. I had a friend that he had Comcast that their service sucked. That they don't treat their customers fairly. It takes forever for them to fix stuff.
Yeah.
It's like they should hurry up and try to fix it. You know, like I have Google Fiber. You know when they have Google Fiber, when the fiber's going out, they message us, email us.
They let you know.
They let us know with everything, and they're on top of it that day.
Well, I remember, I don't remember where the location was. I don't know if it was here in the US or it was like overseas. Their first fiber optic on Google was to, if I remember, they basically built a whole infrastructure of the whole town in fiber on Google. That was a project. If you know that project I'm talking about, when they were in development of that era, that's like years ago. But that was a big shot that like, because everything was running issues over issues by having like AT&T and all different services, and Google said like, we're gonna spend all the money to be we'll be the only one at this location, but we're gonna support everything, and they built it.
Yeah. We also, when I was at my mom had so many problems with her internet, and Time Warner kept on saying there was nothing wrong, there was nothing wrong. Well, we had Time Warner guy go out there and check it out. It turned out that there was a cable damaged in my sister's room, and which caused a lot of
Yeah.
sound into the pipe and causing affect the whole internet issue. So
I,
we had to force them to go out there, which that's kind of messed up. Like we shouldn't have to
yeah,
force them.
well, they always start up first, and they have the light intermediate people, like little beginners, and they ask like, "Is your computer working? Have you tried unplugging and turning it on? Have you restarted it? Have you factory reset?" I'm like, I'm an IT technician. I've already done these steps. These are the first things. If I do this another 10 times, it's not going to matter. Considerations is that it probably might be a bad modem that I really doubt that a Time Warner modem ever goes out. It's very unlikely. And if not, it's something with your cable. And what was it? Their cable.
Yeah, just man, I remember all that stuff. I had to argue with Time Warner just to get that squared away.
Yeah, it was a pain back then.
And but now it's everything's starting to improve, but you know
It's
ISPs
been
still
a
kind of
lot
suck.
different.
So
After they got bought off, it kind of changed quite a lot. And that I noticed.
I haven't had Spectrum and Time Warner since I lost my job in August or December of last year of 2016.
Yeah.
That's when I lost. Since I lost my job, that's when I lost Spectrum. I freaking owe money to them, unfortunately. I
Like,
owe,
your name belongs to your money.
I owe money left and right because of my job loss. You know, I was unemployed for about a year.
Yeah, I know you had issues trying to go through the first spot, and it's hard. That's my thing. Like, I really want to go somewhere else to go, but I'm like, no. IT world, you could go apply anywhere, and you could probably get that position. or they could just fire you within a week later.
Yeah, but you know one thing is the job that I have right now, bro. I never even applied for it.
Wow.
They came looking for me.
Wow, they heard about you? Someone around there?
I don't know. It's just that they found my resume on Monster, and that's how I got called.
That's
That's how I
one.
got called.
I get them lots of times from like Monster or what's that other one called? You know what
In
I'm talking about?
Indeed,
Indeed. That's another one they contact me a lot.
dude. I think there's an
Lead.
actual. I think here and LinkedIn, we have it. There's an Indeed location here in Austin. But I don't know
There
if
is,
that's. I
yeah.
don't know if it's the same. I don't know if it's the same place or it's a whole different brand name.
I have no clue.
I don't know if they're related or not.
Yeah, most of the time I get quite a lot of those requests for positions and stuff are like LinkedIn. They do that a lot because they're running looking for people and then ask like how much, and I'm like, well, I'm currently having this much, and they're like, oh, never mind. We'll go ahead and let you know, and that's a no. So looking for people with the lowest minimum wage, I'm like, no, just because I'm there, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do that. Yeah, it's been crazy. Like right now, we have projects that I'm working on. Change. I'm like, no offense. Well, here's a good question. Depending on this in a classroom, what would be better? Having a projector to present to a big size screen, okay, or having a TV, which would be better?
How big of a TV we're talking about here, and how big is your room?
The rooms, let's say they're huge, like regular, like the size like the regular classrooms, like in high school. Those rooms, okay, average like that. Now we have some that are bigger, but you get the point.
It varies because
Hmm.
it depending on what the size of TV as well.
Yeah. Well, pretend that they're 70-inch versus you could have a projector that can shoot probably like 120, 140. Why? What do you think would be better?
I think a projector.
The projector would be better for display. Now the difference against that wins against the quality is going to be the TV.
Yeah,
But
because
then now whoever's blind as a bat can't see a damn thing. So I'm
yeah,
like, I would just live with projectors.
that's
And I
what
compare.
that's what the project was. We did in the middle school. My first job, that one we actually they implemented TVs instead of projectors because it was effective.
In a way, it's a good, but it's a disappointment too in another situation.
Yo, Mel and Rusty said hi.
Sure. Yeah, that's one of the one situations that we're on. Like we already started putting TVs and stuff like that, but I'm like, I guess it's gonna be what it is. But to me, I'm like a blind. I'm not blind. Like whoever can't see far. Like an example, it won't be bad for a classroom that's just like history or a person walking around next screen or something like that, right? Simple on they see on there. But what happens if a person wants to do something like, I don't know, not Adobe, bleh. What would be called? Like, what would be the software? Like C++ class, okay? An example. Or HTML, or like you're gonna go to, you know what I'm talking about? All the software base that it's in scripting, and you're gonna try and teach that on a screen that's gonna be tiny that you can't even see it. Imagine for the student, that's
Yeah,
hard. I'm
true.
like, because we teach that right now. We're teaching what's the one? Arduino, another scripting right there.
Dude, I've done that one.
Software
Arduino.
developing, like JavaScripting and stuff like that they teach. And I'm like, I can see just because I can see clear with the glasses. Average people, once you start looking farther back, even myself, you can't see a darn thing. And
That's
I'm
true.
like, so my choice would have been probably still projectors. Now, people complain by projectors how they are, that they're kind of bad on their, like, if you spend some good quality projectors, they have like HD that has light. When you can have the lights on with the projector on, they have
Dude,
those.
I tried pushing that for the second my second job. I tried pushing the big $10,000 projector, but he's like, we can't afford that. Let's get like a $500 one.
No, we wouldn't even do that. Even our TVs are going to cost at least 1,000. So you could buy at least a decent, like 1,000 or so.
Because
Like,
this is for a cafeteria,
that's
and
perfect price. That's a normal price.
you know because you're gonna set it. Remember the one that we set up at my first job that gets a $10,000
I
projector
know what you're talking
because
about. That one.
you need it for when you have the lights on. You need it for this. You need it for that.
It's the
He's like,
same
no.
concept. Like it's like the same concept. Oh, like the one that I was waiting forever in the high school.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that one.
You know, it's kind of crazy. But they never went with it. They still use a projector on a cart. Back at my second job, like
Like,
they still use that. They still use the old method. You know, we implemented three wireless and upgraded the network in that place, and they still haven't upgraded. They still haven't changed the infrastructure after I left. I was implementing so much infrastructure, and then they let me go.
they do that. I know.
I would tell you if they ever call you, don't even bother. They're not a waste of time. They don't even have the
I
money to
already heard
pay.
about it. They called me, but because I know that location about it, what not just because it's in the like T world, such bureau, they're just how they process stuff as the teachers field and education level. They do stuff that you're not supposed to be doing, and you know that.
And I'm pretty sure Matt told
You
you.
know what I'm talking about.
Matt told you, right? One of them.
Well, I knew. Well, I knew from that one, but I actually learned this from the teacher. With the I'm just gonna say I'll just type it for you. Simple
Type
as
it.
that.
Type it.
You remember her that used to be like in the elementary and like in like in junior high,
Oh
and
yes, yes.
she went over there. She quit not because of the situation of them or anything. She quit because they were doing that stuff correct
Yeah.
against the government funds. And I'm like, wow. And that's why they contact. I'm like, nope.
I remember that. I remember when they let her. I remember when they let her go. I was there, and me and her worked together. And there's a lot of stuff. That place was crooked. It was
Yeah,
totally
I
crooked.
found that out a lot, and they said that most of the time they add text again after again, and they never stay basically.
I don't know if you talked to Tonio.
Yes,
Well, yeah, we hired him, and then he was telling me that they were being racist to the Hispanic race and Mexicans.
that's what they said.
He was telling me, and I already kind of like, yeah, I know, because they were being racist, and
Well,
I didn't have too much evidence, but a lot of people were
well,
saying,
well, you know how some of the issue was actually some of the principal and those type of fields. You know what I'm talking about? Not the actual principal, but the super. I think it was superintendent, if I'm correctly. That type of
yes,
person.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, there were
that's
just a
what I
lot of
heard
things,
about.
and they were gonna let him go, but I don't know what happened. They just don't know. They don't even know really happened. What happened with my story? They just went off what they heard. But if they would come and ask me, I would tell them the truth. And then later, but you know what happened is that later on throughout time progress, that place got hacked.
Well, hello. Their thing was like they're in the town of like Tiny, and it's all through that area.
They got hacked. Like really, they somebody stole their social security numbers and all that.
That's some
After
of the documentaries. Oh,
and you
why?
know what the
That
bad
is why
part
she
was?
left. That's
You
one
know
of the issue.
the bad part was that's the time I got. As soon as I got laid off, this happened. Not even long after that.
Right after.
Not even that long after that.
So they're accusing you
I don't know what they were. I found out through teachers. They asked
from
me.
teachers.
They
Welcome to my
asked.
world.
They asked me, "Hey, bro, did you do anything?" I'm like, "Bro, I didn't even know about that. Like, I wouldn't even want to do that. That's stupid stuff. That's freaking prison time right there. Freaking jail time. You know, freaking big
Yeah,
felony charge. Like, what the hell? Like, what the hell's going on with that?"
yeah. That's like a felony level going into that field. Going into
Yeah,
someone else's as an educational base into that's funded through. Yeah, that's a no. No.
that's all freaking crazy. That's all freaking epic stuff, man. That's like no tomorrow.
Yeah, well, that's a big situation.
It's like, but I told them, let me put security up and all that stuff. They didn't believe
They
me.
needed it. They really did.
They didn't
Well,
believe me.
because I already know that area that it's very vulnerable still today, literally. And that's some of the things. Like I'm on networking, and I really go into networking and security in that field, and you have to be sure. Like from us when we had to work on there in junior high and going up, I literally had to keep that potential because it's simple just going to brute force a simple wireless access point basically. Once you get in, you're basically just slowly going to process through, and I'm like, you understand putting a simple password in simple ways, it's not going to help.
Yeah,
And then when they have computers, also an example, schools usually have like computers, and understand it's best to put Active Directory. That means that no one can log in, basically, right? Well, if you have a computer there that has no password, nothing on there, that means that any visitor, anyone can come through. They can simply put like a key logger if they want to on any computer and let everyone come on and do their classwork and check their emails, go to YouTube. And what can happen when the person comes back later that day and can get all of those key logs that have been on there?
Yep.
That's why the point of why you have to have security for that field.
Yeah. They didn't want to spend money. They didn't want none of that stuff. So it was kind of like that was their problem. That's not my problem. Like, that's all they kept on telling me. Oh, we don't have money. We don't have this. We don't have that. Like, why? What?
Where does
What?
all the money go to have a school there?
Exactly. Like, we need equipment. We need this. We need that. They're like, no, no. And then the guy was like, I know more technology than you. I've been in it for
who's
longer.
who's that one?
The same guy, the main one.
What's his name again?
Let me message you.
I think I know who it is. If I'm correctly, he's a relative from someone there in Kingsville. If I'm correct.
No,
Not
he's
that one.
he's not from here.
Where's he from?
Let me message you.
Oh, okay, okay. So he said that he knows more.
He knew way more than stuff than me that I couldn't lie to him, and he knew every single part of the way the system works. He was in IT for 30 something years.
Nice.
And look at him still in the same boat. He hasn't upgraded none of the networking. The server's still the same. Like, none of this migration. None of
Yeah.
networking cabling still there. None of that's all. Everything's still there.
I know you're telling me that we had cables that were like burned up, like very like how would it be? Cables that were basically just like naked open, like just tossed open with the shield or anything,
Yeah, that's what it
going
was.
across,
Yeah.
so them like taped and stuff to make them continue going back instead of using like you put an RJ45, or an RJ modular together, lock them to lock it, or like you know what I mean to extend. Just
Yeah.
tape to fix it.
Exactly. That place was like so pretty much bad. It's like no joke, man. I was like, I never expected something like that's all freaking crazy stuff. Like, I tried helping that place out, but they chose not to just let me go. But I helped them out so much, even all the paperwork I did, and it still seemed like they didn't take it for granted. Like, they just
Yeah.
used me. And
Well, it's that situation where I've worked also, and I'm like, I have so much level. Like, I already know Cisco, so I'm like a networking person, literally. That I really would want to go into, but instead theoretically, I know what it is, what can be done, and what can be that can be processed to change stuff better. But they choose and contact a person that's. This is a downfall here. You have a person that has a bachelor's degree into networking, okay, or he's Cisco, like CCNA, an example, okay,
mhm.
certified. And that's great. They're certified and they know that. But if I already know the exact same knowledge base, literally, I took all the courses and stuff, I just don't have the certified, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They kind of just push as a downfall. So the same situation, what I even said what the issue was and stuff, that needed to be fixed. He actually used my script. He basically used the exact same layout to fix the problem. So I was acted exactly the same.
Yeah, man. It's all just freaking crazy, man. Like,
Yeah. So it's a big change, and you just have to. I guess you have to. So something you have to just live with in IT world because
hey guys, if there's 3 people in my watching, if you have any questions on any technology you have right now, issues, feel free to comment in the description below. Not description, in the comments, descriptions, or whatever. We'll be glad to answer. Both of us will be glad to answer this.
you should let them know stuff like that. They can contact us and stuff like that.
Yeah, you could, and his channel will be in the description below. As soon as I finish it, it won't be up today. Probably be sometime today. It'll probably be up tomorrow or something like that. Because I still need to do a lot of editing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I got to take care of some stuff tonight too. So I'm gonna be running kind of ragged everywhere today. So if you don't see it, description today, but it will be there sometime today, tomorrow, or the next day, or whenever
Yeah.
as soon as I get the chance. I have to do that to all my videos. I'm behind. I'm behind
It's
so
like nothing
much.
bad.
Nothing bad. I think I gotta do it. Robert, you gotta send me your link to your website, to your channel.
the link?
Yeah, send me your channel
Here,
link.
I'll send it to you.
Maybe I
You
could
know
even
it.
maybe I could even do it right now.
Here. Yeah, you can. You can do that.
Yeah, there he
Well,
is.
you know, it's that one's actually been going up. I'm like, I started off making the videos on YouTube. I made like 4 videos, and randomly, like a few years later, I get a Google mailed to my house. I'm like, you understand that you have revenue that can be done from your videos? Literally, they just told me that.
Oh yeah, I did know that.
It's literally.
Yep. I didn't. I don't know why I didn't think of that. What's going on? My phone's going off. Dude, yeah, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to comment, man. Like we're here for support. We're here to help out. Any questions if you want to get into IT and stuff like that, you can feel free to comment. Like you heard, I have 12 years experience. This guy has like what, maybe like 8 years, 10 years.
I would say I'm gonna count. I guess when I started in high school, around with you, basically when we started that. So I would say maybe about 10, 11 years.
Yeah, because it's 2018. You graduate what in
11. I graduated 11. That's already 7 years right there. But then the few years I was there in high school, so about 10 years.
yeah.
I've no, actually I've knew technology then too, but that was like I
Girl,
considered that in like junior high and stuff was basically like I guess a newbie tech. So I
you
don't
just
consider that in that field.
I didn't consider that either. My junior high years,
Yeah,
I kind of like started
that was
playing with it, so
that
I
was a
didn't.
learning era, is what it was.
Yeah, if people ask me, I just tell them from the high school time.
Yeah,
I don't ever tell
because
them. It's like, but they want to know further. I was like, you want to know when I first actually got a computer and started playing with it? I was like, back all the way until I was like junior high,
I'm
middle school.
like I have an old IBM laptop here. It's this thick and has a monitor that small.
Dude, I had somebody tell me that, dude, before even Windows 3.1 came out, there was another operating system. Dude, I have Windows 3.1, the disk.
I have okay. You remember those the DOS that was out there? What was before? I know there's three Windows 3.1. What was? Let me see. Let's find out. You're telling me there was a different software out there
Yeah, it's something older than Windows 3.1.
before Windows 3.1.
Windows 3.1 was like released to the public, and there's
Well, I know
computer
there was Windows 2.0 that existed, and Windows 2.1 also. They
be-
were before
because
Windows. Let me actually,
those were
Windows.
actually big. Those were the ones that stories that we heard that they were the size of rooms.
The Windows 1.0 was that nice blue and white screen, and it had that special logo design with little cross lines on Microsoft. In our era, probably no one ever even knew that existed until like Windows 95 came out. Ah, that's basically when everything got popular. The new recreation.
Yeah, that was more
I,
user friendly.
yes, because I actually no offense. I'm not being mean against this, but Microsoft. Okay, because you know that Apple was used that feature since IBM. Because IBM was out there before. You know that.
Mhm.
Microsoft. Apple created when Steve Jobs was there. He created that special software that came out with the other Steve Zach. I can't remember his last name. You know what I'm talking about. The other Steve. But regardless, they made their own layout, and it got changed. That when Windows came out, Windows basically just had us. They basically stole everything. Basically,
Bill
the whole layout
Gates.
from
Bill Gates.
basically it was basically it's a. His technically maybe doesn't say it was stolen, but it was stolen from Apple because that was created back then. You know that.
Yeah, just be careful. Just be careful, man.
It's fine.
Microsoft might be watching us too.
It could be possible. What's the truth though? You know that what happened, and eventually it came out, and they had that whole case because you were look at the Windows like up to 3.0,
Uh huh.
and you look at the old Mac. Okay, because remember there was the Macintosh operating system, Macintosh operating system. That era, they were basically stolen. You know that,
Yeah,
and
because
eventually,
everything's pretty much based off of because they both worked on the Unix systems.
originally, Well,
But
no. At that time, before they were. Unix is actually a different one. You know where Unix actually came from?
where?
Guess what company it was originally? Because remember, Mac had their own system, Macintosh. And eventually, when Steve left, everything was falling and dying. We even had donations of funds from Bill Gates actually funded to keep them continue going. Did you know that? Yeah.
What do you mean? Bill Gates paid Apple?
They did a partnership a long time ago because they actually were falling whenever they let go of Steve Jobs. You didn't know about that, did you? I know everything about how they went.
So what are you
So
talking about?
regardless,
So Apple was falling down?
it was actually like with Steve Jobs, everything was falling down, failing, this and
When
that.
was this?
Because Steve Jobs was there when he first started, and because he was too young in that situation, they eventually fired him. And there was like a lap of like 5-8 years, and Apple was just going downhill, downhill, downhill. And actually was funded and stuff that actually, I'm not saying it was Bill Gates, but it was basically from the foundation as a fund to still. So Microsoft would help them, but as an exchange base, you know what I mean? And eventually, when Steve Jobs came back, his was actually a recreation to find out. The new system operating system that we see still today on MacBooks, you know what it comes from? Not the first one, not Macintosh, but Mac OS. You know where it came
So
from?
that's why the name got changed from Macintosh to
Yeah.
Mac?
Yes. Because it's a different system and a new. Because remember, at that time, he wanted to create that old system and it was failing. That operating system was dead. Period. Okay, the old Mac. It was literally dead. So they needed to start a new fresh. And that was when Steve Jobs. Well, they went everywhere, and during that time when they were trying to get the new system, when he came back, or if I'm correct, it was around that time, they bought a company that they had a software that they didn't even know about. And you know what software it was at that time? It was Xerox.
Which is
Xerox had the whole operating system that ran off Unix system. They didn't know how to use it. No one knew how it went, how anything was that. It was created from one of the companies in there from Xerox, but they never knew. So eventually Steve Jobs, the Apple company, bought it. And that is what recreated the new structure of the new iOS. That's how we have the phones, the laptop, the MacBooks, the computers, those systems. It's running off from there.
so so how the hell because isn't Steve Jobs the owner of Mac? Of Apple?
He was? He was
But
the CEO.
how did he get fired?
You didn't know about that? Ever?
How did he get fired from Mac
It.
if he owned it?
He was a CEO. He was originally the foundation. He starts a business, okay? This is how business goes. When you start a business, you're like one of the heads up. You create your own company, okay? But eventually you have to go corporate worldwide. Remember that era? It went worldwide. So that means that they have to have the person that's the CEO and the other people. And there's the higher ups, like the VPs and higher and stuff like that. So therefore, if they choose to fire him, they can. It's a choice what you do when you go to corporate, and that's how the field of how business goes.
So you could be the owner of it and get fired for it?
If you go into corporate, yeah.
What?
Hello. Do you remember the old guy from the creator of what is it called? McAfee.
Yeah.
You know, he's not any. They basically fired him too, and he was the founder of it. The same concept because it goes by corporate. So yeah, Steve Jobs got. Let me see. When Steve Jobs got. So I remember when got fired. Let me see when. It's gonna say it. That's funny. In Scully and Jobs in spring of 1985, Apple's board sided with the CEOs, removing Jobs of his commands of the Macintosh group. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I did not.
You really had to know the whole life story of how Apple. Oh, sorry, that opened. Yeah, it was basically at that time. He was like basically he was the co-founder right there when he was about 21, and by the time of 23, he was a millionaire. I'm reading quick reviews about it. And became legendary. And then at 30, it was a humanitarian defeat, said Allen. And they changed or die, basically. Basically, it was that time of era. And in 1881, Apple went public. Was when that came out. 1981. Remember that. 81, when Apple went public. It's very old. Apple has been here for a long time. And Mac debuted in 1984, rave reviews of disappointing sales, putting the financial strain on the company. That was whenever they needed money funds to come out. That's when actually Microsoft actually helped a little bit for the time. And from firing basically from Jobs' relationship basically with Scully, if you know him about stuff like that. And eventually you get the whole point. It comes to a point. And eventually, it was funny because I can't remember the name of the company. Steve Jobs eventually worked for a different company a long time ago, okay? There's how it comes out. Oh, I'm going to tell you this part. Now I remember. It's something like Box. Hold on. Let me find the name. I know it in my head. Actually, the MacBook got bought off from a different company. Bought a company, okay? That Steve Jobs worked. So here's how it all came out. They fired him. He went through time periods of worthless crap. He finally worked at a different company that was called something. Let me remember what it's called. I need to think what it's called. I need to find it. I need to know. I need to find it. Steve Jobs. He worked. The old company was called. He worked at Apple. You know that. And eventually went to another job. And I'm trying to remember the name in my head. If you know what it is, just let me know. At Next. Oh, there it is. It came to my head. Next Computer. Do you know that company?
Nope.
Next Computer was that system that was high advanced, and to make the system run great, it had the processor and the boards to make the performance. And what happened is that Apple was dying, literally. So to do this, they would have to buy the company called Next Software, the operating system, because Next used to be a computer based, and they stopped making the computers, so they started making the software based. So eventually when the software came out, they needed the software and the hardware and stuff to make the system to work for the better performance and the processor. And what happened is Steve Jobs worked at Next, and guess what happens? They buy off Next, and he becomes the CEO again. You didn't know about that?
No. So that's
Wow.
why. But isn't it still incorporated in Apple? Next.
It got bought off. Next is so if you actually know, if you ever knew the software how Next operating system used to run, if you ever knew it, it looks almost identical. If you actually go to a MacBook, and you're gonna see some special icons and some special questions and some things, they actually still have the old layout features. Some of the features has been recreated, the looks from the old Next software. That's where it's routine. And that Next is basically from that situations that came out. So you get the point. Blah, blah, blah. You get the point that Steve Jobs got fired. He eventually worked at a different place. They were looking for business. And that's when he found out that job that went into that Xerox company when he worked at Next. Next was actually a big company that was actually computer-based and actually helped out lots of fields, including going into space stations and stuff like that, too, if you ever knew about that.
No, I did not.
Crazy stuff. So regardless, Next eventually bought that company from the Xerox. The Xerox comes into place. Eventually they needed... Apple's failing. Apple needs to buy the company called Next. Guess who's the CEO of Next? Steve Jobs. He gets pushed back and he becomes the CEO again. And he actually planned this whole thing advanced because at the current time of era, when technology couldn't be built or what he wanted, he planned it. It's like, what? You never seen it?
Nope.
Let me see which one it is. There's a movie that they made. They made 2 different movies about him. Okay, you know that from Steve Jobs. You know that, right?
Oh, the Steve Jobs movie.
There was the Jobs. That was Ashton Kutcher. That one right there. You know that one. And there was the Steve Jobs movie that was called. Let me see if I can find it.
I haven't even seen that movie.
It's a movie called Steve Jobs, not Jobs. Steve Jobs, and they're actually more accurate. Now I wouldn't consider it's the greatest, but they give it maybe a 7.5 out of 10 star. Now this other one, that first was all big fail. I'm sorry, they had stuff that was off the time era, the wrong corrections, and they just started in the middle where he was just being mean. They didn't know how the era, the whole creations of how Apple fully started in that era when he came back. That's basically where the spark starts when he comes back.
Oh, so this movie starts from where he's at right now.
He came back. He's actually working at a company we ever look at this video, he eventually you really need to see this movie,
So
dude.
there's no movie about when he first began.
The one that they began is the one they made called Jobs. That's the one with Ashton Kutcher, that one right there. But it's all right. It's not the best movie, so it's kind of incorrect what they put. Okay, the one called Steve Jobs that came out in 2015. That is the one takes the. That was basically the beginning of the new revolution, basically in that field. If you knew about that, so you really need to see that movie, Steve Jobs, literally called that. You never seen it? Wow, I like went on like day one over there to see it because I really wanted to see it. Like on Jobs, they gave it like a 5.9. I think it's even lower like that because they really failed. The one from Steve Jobs, it was like Michael Fassbender and Kate Winslet and Seth Rogen, Jeff Daniels. They're all those people on the Steve Jobs movie.
Nope.
If you ever watch it, it is really is a very clever, and it really tells you everything, not partially of everything. Yeah, so that's why I consider like we consider Windows great, but Apple was a big pain in the ass to get there.
So
So he started from
Apple had its all the way, had its rumps, drops, and backups.
when it was going successful when Steve Jobs comes. They fire him. Comes up to a few years. It drops down. The cost for the value to build it and to keep the systems failed. So the values were gone. The systems couldn't support. The new IBM systems or the Microsoft systems were overpowering the systems. They were failing. Eventually, he finds out works at a company called that I saw the next computer. That eventually Apple needs him to make the next computers to Apple to come out. Well, eventually he gets in the position for it. He comes back from Apple because they're going to need the next, and without next, they'll fail. So Steve Jobs was going to get in there back to Apple regardless of something that he planned. It's like, what? And it's all accurate. That's what blows my mind. I feel like watching that movie now. It's like, how long was the movie? Hell, it's 2 hours and 2 minutes. But it's a good movie, and it's basically on that field of the digital revolutions. And there, it basically comes into that. What year would it be? The story basically unfolds, I guess, in like 19. I'm assuming maybe like 95, 98, around that era. I'm assuming, if I'm correct. But yeah, you really had to. If you ever go and you find out how history of Apple, they have a documentary of him too, and it'll tell you how everything was built out of there. Hello, for making his first building, like the first Apple systems in the garage.
I know about that. I know about that part.
Well, it was from the other Steve Zakowicz. Zakowicz, that he said, or something like that, or something like that. The other guy, but yeah, Apple was a crazy situation of how it got there. Next computer with computer. Oh, here we go about it. Next computer and Next Software was an American computer software company founded by in 1989 by Apple co-founder. Guess who? Steve Jobs. You didn't know that?
Nope.
So basically, by Apple, co-founder of Steve Jobs. Based by the Redwood City in California, the company developed manufacturers of computer workstations, centers in higher education. Basically, Next was founded by Jobs after he left Apple. Yeah. So Apple left to make a company to come back that would have to, Apple would need him again. Yeah, it would used to be, an old system used to be called, the software on the computers were called Next Step. And they were like red, yellow, green, and kind of like pinkish color. If you ever remember, have you ever seen those before?
Nope.
Yeah, it's old shit. So
You know what? That kind of makes sense.
now it makes a lot more sense. How did Apple get there?
Because if I look at it, whenever you reload the operating system for iPad Apple, you'll see the word
Yeah.
next. and some devices. When you reload Mac computers and stuff like that,
Or
you'll
you
see
see
the word
something like the
next.
script. There's things like that. So it's been for a long time. So Apple is a big. It just blows my mind that Steve Jobs basically started like that, in that bad situations. He comes back. They let him go. Then he comes back, but he doesn't go back yet into Apple yet. He goes up to another company that yet Apple's eventually going to need them. So he planned a future ahead of time that would make the next revolution to go back to Apple. It's like crazy.
Damn.
That was founded in 1985, 33 years ago in California. The founder of Steve Jobs. Next. Yeah, you usually thought he was only the person from Apple, right?
Yeah, I didn't know there's more story to it.
Yeah, so now the owner of it is Apple Incorporated, but they said that there was product Next Computer, Next Cube, that I know. Next Station, they mentioned Next State, Next Mail, Next Rigs, Workstation, Next Laser Printer, Next Megapixel Display, Next Music Hits, Next Cube Turbo, Next Port, OpenStep was basically the new name term for Next, and Web Objects. They were all created from Next.
Dude, that is
It's
freaking
like,
crazy.
yeah, so if you ever find about a person that's been technology, like an example, whoever created the called internet that we learned didn't cost anything, we hear people that are some people that are famous from technicians or people out there famous,
Hmm.
but some people that are actually even more important that if without him, some stuff would never be there. You know what I mean?
Man, I thought you could not get you rid of your owner, the co-creator or the owner of the company.
It's how stuff goes. Now, if you have your own company and if you're the sole priority, like your own company, yeah, you can. But once you hit into like, there's like that level, and then there's other companies that are like partnered. That's not always the best choice, you know that. And then there's like LP, limited partnership and stuff like that. But when you go to corporate, there has to be a steps of how fields go. It's like you know how business goes. So actually, we actually go to Apple right now.
So who's CEO right now?
CEO right now is currently Tim Cook. Tim Cook. And actually, I'm gonna find out. He's the CEO of Apple, but let me see who the people are there from.
Isn't he causing like? Wasn't he the one that's causing cause problems, or was that somebody else in
I
Apple?
don't know. But if you actually knew Tim Cook, he's actually a very famous in that field too. He's actually one of the best friends there from Steve Jobs.
So because
He
I know
uses that.
I know Steve was one of the main guys, but there was several other people that he brought in with him.
There's a lot, dude.
Like like nobody really knew that. Didn't right? Weren't wasn't Steve and Bill Gates like real good friends?
In a way, back and forth bugs. I mean, they're on videos. You've seen videos before of them like both together on like a video and they're like comparing stuff. You ever seen that before?
No.
They're out there. They've been there like literally sitting next to each other at a interview of them asking questions and they're both talking back and forth against each other. Um
Dude, that's crazy.
yeah, you really have to know how. Okay, so here's the chief executive officers is what it is. Want to hear them from Apple? How- Let's see. Apple leadership. Here we go. This is where you go to the site. So there's Tim Cook, the CEO. The senior vice president of the general counsel is Catherine. The senior vice president of rental, Angelica. Senior vice president of internet software, Eddie. You've seen him. He's been there before. He's actually taught. You know, Craig. He's the one that usually tells us the new software that comes out on Apple. Craig. There's a chief officer in design called Jonathan. There's a senior vice president of Luca. There's a senior vice president of the hardware engineering called Dan. There's the senior vice president of worldwide marketing, Phillips. He's another person I know from there. There's one from senior vice president of hardware technologies, Johnny. There's a chief operating officer from named Jeff. And here's the vice president of communications, Steve. There's another Steve there, believe it or not. Vice president of environment, policy and social, Lisa. Vice president of managing director of creator in China. Isabel. There's marketing communications from Tor. There's some, and here's the board of directors. Ready? There's another one called. Oh, here he is. Vice
The-
President of Giardre, I think I said. And the board members are Arthur G. Something like that. He's the CEO, like the chairman. These are the chairman's level. You understand that? It's how business goes. So the former CFO and the corporate president, this person named James. So there's two people that are higher up of him. You understand that? Of him. It's how stuff goes.
Dude, that's freaking crazy. So
And
once
there's
you,
other people. There's like former presidents and there's chairmans of CEOs of. There's lots of people out there, boards that are in there.
so you got a CEO of a CEO of that CEO.
There's like there's presidents of fields and there's CEOs that are higher up of chairman boards. You understand how the systems go? A chairman CEO boards. You know how those things are. So welcome to the world of business.
Dude, I thought it would be like Steve Jobs, and then you got because he's
that's
like
it.
the main guy, and then you got all the chair people right here that are under him. They listen to
No, it's
whatever
kind
Steve
of
says.
it's simple as like you see the principal at a school and there's like the vice principal, but the superintendent overpowers everyone. It's basically how that. So that's how I got to see the movie. If you watch the one that wasn't that great called Jobs, you can watch that one first, and it's you'll understand it. Is some of them are off time and the wrong era times, and I know that as a fact, but it'll make more logical that you understand. And the one for Steve Jobs that will make a big revolution jump to you that you'll be like, oh my gosh, I never even knew this. So I really love Apple. Yay!
Man, I have to love Apple now. It's gonna be my best friend.
Well, dude, I'm like, I went to all different stuff. Like, there's Android-based systems, and there's Windows, and there's Linux and stuff like that. But Apple is a very big situation of how that era got there, and actually some of the cases of how they fired him and stuff. I think it was also with chairman up there.
Why
And
did
I think
they?
it was something with also within the cases. I think with IBM at that era also. If I'm correct.
So they fired him because of all that?
Stuff like that. You really have to see and figure out how all of this came out. You really like documentary about him basically to know this.
Damn, that's freaking crazy, man.
Yep.
I didn't know there's a lot of stuff I didn't know. And how did you learn all this? Just by googling and googling and
I
googling?
can't hear. Oh, there it goes. Say it again.
How did you figure out all this stuff, man?
You have to read documentary, find stuff. Well, because yes, I love Apple. An example is one thing, but your only way to know if you really love it is if you understand. God, it's like you understand. There's Microsoft, and we know that Bill Gates basically created that. They were basically their own company. Okay, Microsoft was their system that was DOS, and eventually there was that Bill Gates came out with that new resolution of the new operating system. That was also identical to freaking Apple. That was when there was a lawsuit against a long time ago. You have to hear all these cases about it, but basically that's how Microsoft got in there, and that's how I would basically say that Microsoft basically just kind of like stole a layout from the original old Apple, basically in a way, stolen that idea. So whenever he recreated that new system of Next, welcome to the new software that's called a Mac OS. You know what I mean?
And any of this happened during the Google era?
Dude, that was in like maybe like 1997. I was freaking 5 when that happened. Well, that's when he came back. You actually find the whole thing, like since the 80s and 90s. But I read the documentary to find stuff about this.
But what happened? But in the Google industry, is anything like this going on in the same thing?
I would really have to find out on Google. Google was another case because there was something that. Oh, Google, we actually really have to hear history of that one. That one used to be like, I think if I'm correctly, a different name. And eventually got bought off and now it's just freaking everywhere. Just Google anything.
Yeah, because Google couldn't have just started just right off the back just like that. There has to be some kind of
That's the
issue.
documentary that I need to learn now. How did Google get here?
How did Google get here? We know Google started off as a search engine.
We're just gonna start making videos of this. We're gonna make videos about a subject of something, and we're gonna search it up, and we're gonna make a documentary like what we really know about what happened.
We could do every Saturday if you're available. Every Saturday
Yeah.
we do a tech talk about a certain topic. And but people could actually still comment if they have any issues and stuff like that. They're more than welcome to,
Yeah,
because we'll have that out on top of the discussion.
Yeah. So if you ever want to know about Apple, welcome to my. That's why I see. Like you see me like you remember I was like repairing Apple phones and stuff like that time being tripped out. I'm like, I had to learn.
You know that everybody thinks that when they buy like a screen, that they're actually buying an actual product from Apple. Like it's gonna be good, top quality,
Yeah.
and they don't realize that it's not original.
Yeah. That's like we buy them from a third party that makes a double A standard or HD copy, basically. That looks good, HD. You know what I mean? They make them look good. That's why if you want a good official one, get one from Apple.
You want to get one, just might as well just buy a whole new phone.
Yeah.
Or unless you have another broken phone that just stopped working, just replace the screen off of that.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I repair myself too. Well, you know, I repaired iPhones, Androids, tablets, laptop screens. I don't know, I love breaking, like repairing broken stuff like that. Now, I tell them if they want to, like, if you have warranty, like right now, you understand, like, Apple has a new um, iPhone X 10, yay. But you understand it's OLED. How much that screen costs right now? If you needed to buy from a third party, it's about $300. So don't break screen. Unless you have warranty on Apple, you have a better chance making that claim. Or make a claim from your.
I think you pay less. I think it's only 150 if you take it in.
150.
I want to say that's what it was.
For the 10.
I think so. I think if you have warranties, only 150. They replace it for you.
If you don't, I think it's a minimum of 300. I think.
Something
like that.
I'm not too sure numbers. You know more about it than I do, buddy.
I can find it from the site. They have them there.
We could probably bring that up in the next conversation we have.
Yeah.
On pricing for Apple products and warranties and stuff.
So you should watch that movie. I'm just saying.
Just send me a message on the name of the movies and stuff like that, whatever you want me to know, and I'll go watch
send them. Sure. I'll send them to you right now. Let's just go like this. So this is the first movie right here. I'll give you the link from it. Where are we at? I'll just get them from IMDb. This is this movie that you need to find. That's the first. That's the good one. Okay.
Okay.
And look, it already tells about it. That's so cool. I love this. And there's this one right here called Jobs. This is the one that was in 2013. That's a decent, I consider.
Isn't that what's his name in it? Ashton Kutcher, yeah?
Yeah. There's that one. I would say watch this one first, okay? Because, yeah, it's still before the current of this one. This first one from Steve Jobs in 2013, that one's the good one. That's one that one, like, oh my gosh, that feeling inside. That one was a big jump. That movie.
So you guys heard it. You heard it from this guy right here. We gotta watch those. I gotta watch that movie now. I got movies to watch. Hey, it's the Gaming King.
What's that?
No, Gaming King came in and said hi.
Yeah. So what's the next one that we should try to learn about? How did Microsoft get there?
We could bring up, what we could do is bring up, if you want, 3 segments, if you want. So if we finish one, completely talk about it for at least an hour, hour and a half, or 2 hours, and then we can move to the next topic, or we could just break it off to the next time we join live. Like, let's bring up like several topics for next time. You could decide the topic on that because you're the guest speaker right now. Topics you want to bring up?
It really blows my mind for this because you told me I was like barely talking, then we went into like, you don't know about this?
We're starting a talk show here, guys. We're talking on Saturdays.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have that now.
Tech talk. But you're more than welcome to problems, computer issues. We're both here. Feel free to talk about it. Jump in. Also, if you have any questions about Apple products, about this and that, man, come on, guys. We're here. We're 2 techs out here talking about history of actual. Right now, we're talking about Apple.
I'm like, you work there, so I'm like, I was assuming you should know this.
Dude, I'm not an Apple person, okay? I suck. I hate Apple, but I'm working for Apple, right? I'm probably gonna get fired.
I don't like Microsoft operating system, but yeah, I still work on it.
You know
how it goes.
Don't get me wrong, because I love Windows, but it sucks. I hate Mac, but it sucks.
Linux, go for Linux for life, dude.
Go. Let's go.
You want to?
Let's go. Yeah, let's do that.
Let's just recreate a new Linux base. Remember, Linux is already free open source. It's public. So we'll just create a company like Red Hat. You know that company.
Yeah.
Or Ubuntu, or like, you know what I'm talking about. All those big companies of Linux. We'll recreate a new one.
And they just develop it, and we just create. We're just both of us are sole proprietary for it, and we just
We're
make
gonna
money
put
off
one
of
that
it.
has a design that looks like an Apple, but runs like like a Windows, but it's all Linux based.
Let's go, Robert. Let's go. Let's go for it.
Ah.
While we're at it, every time you turn off the computer, it has to run through some diagnostic checks. It has to diagnose your face or something. Oh, like how high security. I'm just joking. I don't know. Just I had to throw some stupid stuff out there. Oh.
So what do you think? Do you think like a big shock of finding that out about Apple?
Man, I'm like freaking like, whoa, wowzers. Never
If
heard
you
that
ever
before.
find out, there are documentaries about him. I think there's even books about him there that you can probably read. The video will make it so much easier because you don't have to read it. If you read it and if you put this in your head, oh my gosh, you'll be like mind blown.
Dude,
how stuff actually.
Dude, I can't help. I hate reading books. I hate reading.
I'm like, I really don't like reading either, but it's something related to technology. I'm like, huh? Oh, like one of the books. Like I love a book that they got me a long time ago. Anonymous. There's a book called that. You know that?
I heard something about it. I didn't hear it, but I think I saw it. But I never read it.
If I'm correct, I think it was like an award winner on like. So it's actually because it's real documentaries about real people. I would say their names are changed because of purposes. You know that on the book, but that was like, and I would say maybe like. I think that was in like kind of around like 2009, 2011, that era. That book was talking about those hacks of how the world goes.
Yep.
But I'm probably gonna watch this movie now. I feel rewatch. I'm bored.
Well, I'm just gonna end the live session, Robert, and we'll start talking.
Right.
We'll talk about it next Saturday, or which is gonna be considered our tech corner. If you have any questions, feel free to then. But you also feel free to message me or this guy on our channels. If you have any questions, we both have experience. We both have knowledge. We bounce off knowledge of each other and everything. He's one of the top guys that I know. He's not the main top one, but there's another guy that knows every single goddamn thing. But I probably won't be able to bring him on because he's always busy. He's too busy.
Yeah.
He's even too busy for us.
I don't even have busy to my own self.
I don't even know how he does it with his family.
I'm like, you have about 10 minutes for this last for the 24 hours. Hurry up.
Giving your own time, self a time and discipline, and firing your own self. You're running your own companies. You're the CEO, chairman. You're everything. You know what? You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. And I'm fired.
It's basically how it goes, because it goes up, because you're gonna have people that are CEOs and underneath and stuff like that. But if there's a point of why something's gonna happen, there are fields and stuff like that can prevent from that person to be fired.
That's crazy, man.
Like, I don't even remember. Like, it's just a big change.
Yeah, well, just like I said, I'm going to end the session here, guys. Please make sure you check his channel out. His channel is very epic. It has a lot of good information. My channel is going through a migrating from my other technology channel to this one here. So I'm doing a lot of migration here. So feel free to ask me or this guy. This guy has been doing YouTube some more stuff on technology check. Go check his channel out. Subscribe to his channel as well. Support him because he has 2,000 subscribers.
Let me see right now. Currently, right now, as of today, 4,039.
Shut the hell up, bro. Nuh-uh.
Go to my channel right now.
Nuh-uh. Where is your thing at?
Just type it in. You have the link.
What happened to your link?
Oh, what's right on top? It'll be this one.
Oh, here it is. Right, no. Yeah, here it is. I found it.
Yeah, just copy it and paste it and look at it.
The heck, bro?
Well, it's sadly because I have like
Last time
that
I
many subscribers. But can I tell you about this? Out of all my videos, views, and everything, only like 3% are the subscribers. 0.3. All the rest are just people that come. So I've had more than like I would say like a couple million, few million views for people see, but only some subscribe.
thought you had more videos than this.
How many? Oh, you're probably not seeing. You have to go to the home, and on there you go to videos where it has all of them. And I have like you have to continue going down. I think I have like about
Oh,
a
okay, there it
hundred and
is.
like a
Found it.
110 videos or something like that.
Yeah, I hit your peak. What's your
Most
biggest
basic tutorials.
What's your biggest
Well,
video?
like my biggest video. Let's see,
Six hundred
videos. Let me
thirty-four
go to
thousand.
this. Yeah, that's the one. What is it? It's like to block websites.
Yeah,
Is it that one? You
yeah,
know that one. That was an old script from the host file. You know that one.
yeah.
The most popular. That was actually one of my first videos. I had that one. The down install Google Chrome. That's an old 304K. How to start Google Chrome?
Your lowest one is 13 views.
Which is that one? Probably one of the most current ones. Probably.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Sort by oldest. Let's see newest. Yeah, it'll probably be one very low. I have some that are like, oh, the 13 enable or disable the color filter. It's actually just very useful for whoever has trouble seeing like that for older ages.
Yeah.
But that's what it's for. But yeah, all of these things you can find. You understand, like we have Active Directory, and there's so many policies you put. So I could really just make a video of any policy, and voila, it's
Yeah.
that simple.
Yeah, guys. Well, we're gonna end it here. So, where's my YouTube thing? Yeah, guys. So please make sure you subscribe to his channel. Pulled it too far. Check out his channel. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I have 1227. Let's keep grinding it, guys. And also, don't forget to turn on your post notification to both of our channels.
Yeah.
And also, don't forget to like this video. And also, make sure you go check his video out and like his videos. His videos are very informative. Mine are very informative, but they just kind of like blah 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 blah. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. This is my first time I'm actually doing some live stuff, so give me some time on how to's. This guy has been doing it a lot longer than me, so
Yeah. Well, I used to have older. I had like 2 other channels before this.
you had 2 other channels. I only have 1.
Yeah. One of them is actually I'm gonna start doing it again. I re-enabled it again, and the other one was I'm not gonna say what it is because it's not there anymore. Actually, 3. All of them closed. 2 out of 3 I've closed.
I need to bring my other channel together. It's my ghost hunting.
I know. I saw that on the ghost hunting. You
Yeah,
really need to.
we had some in that one. It's gone epic. I have some, but I shut down that area because we had an incident that happened.
Ah, that makes sense.
A really bad incident, and we
Wow.
think there's a possession going involved,
Wow.
and it's really no joke, dude. Like somebody got we think because he had a demon following him. I did an EVP session. I have it still, and it was speaking in the background. You hear it. I was
Yeah.
there. You couldn't hear it, but you heard
Well,
the
there's places
recording.
that you know of. You know.
And what he did was wrong when I told him not to do, and it attached to him, and I got rid of it from him, but it attached to his family, and
It
his
just
family
follows down.
it caused the sister to almost kill her mother and stuff like that,
Wow.
and she's still not very well from the head. They sent her to a mental institution and all that stuff, and it's affecting not only her, it's affecting the mother and the brother too.
Wow.
It's getting to the point that it's getting severe. And I don't want to like talking about it in here too much because it's a real critical issue. Something happens that happens, man. It's because of what he did, and I told him not to do it, and he didn't listen.
You did something not to do.
Yeah, because he and this is no joke, Robert. Like if I was to meet you up, or I'll send you the clip. I can find the clip again. I'll send it to you so you can hear it. This was on the phone, and this is none edited, none nothing. This is straight raw footage that I actually got from. I used my phone. I think it was my other one before this one I broke in.
Huh.
I put it down like that, and we sat me. It was only me and him. There was nobody else around, and it recorded the audio.
It happens. Usually,
And
sometimes if you can't hear them, you may not hear it. But if you put it up high and you try and distort and hear the background, you'll hear it.
yeah,
It's
it's
there.
because and he got mad. He played a joke on me one day. After that, he was playing a joke on me about demons. Like he was being followed by a demon, and it was attacking him and stuff like that. He pretended to take a picture. Like he took a picture, and he used an app to pretend there was a demon next to him, but not realizing that there was an actual demon following him. He was
Wow.
just stirring it up, and he got more angry, and it was talking in the conversation when I was talking. I was actually making communication, but I couldn't hear it.
Crazy.
So this is like freaking crazy. And then I had another one when I did a school district. I did a school district, and it actually told us to leave immediately because it was too dangerous.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, I have those. I
Okay.
have raw footages, so I'll
Well,
send
that'll
those
be
to you
cool.
later.
We have more. Well, that'll be a cool subject also for later on down the road. It's
Yeah,
welcome subject.
other subjects too as well. So, hey guys, like I
Yep.
said, make sure you check us out. Check out our channel out. Check out other channels out, and everything else, guys. Just we will see you later, guys. So peace out.
See you later, man.